Hello and welcome to the final installment of the IFSC Asia Tour 2013. From Wuyang we have headed south into warmer climates and now find ourselves in Wuyang, located in the south of China in the delta of the Yangtze River. It is home to around 1.5 million people and was traditionally known as the land of fish and rice. It was also known as the capital of silk. Nowadays, the city has taken on a different name. In keeping with China's modernization, it is now known as the City of Electronics and also, strangely, as the capital of cable and optical cable. That's something that we're hoping is going to help us as we get ready to broadcast both a lead and speed World Cup direct to you live all around the world. Behind me right now, you can probably see the wall that is in the background there, just on the side of this river. We get ready to welcome our athletes to the final installment of the Asia Tour 2013. Welcome back to Wuyang. We are here and it is finals day 2013 for our lead competition. An exciting day throughout yesterday, including the qualification rounds for men's and women's, and also our speed finals all the way through the Speed World Cup, where we saw world records broken. We move on now into today, our semi-finals for lead, and into our finals for lead this evening. We have 7 tied first place positions in the women's. We have 9 tied first place positions in the men's. They include our usual athletes. Let's just take a brief look now while we're talking through at the semi-final routes. You can see here the route setters have been setting throughout the evening into the night to get everything ready. They include our normal athletes that are tied in the first place positions. Unfortunately, Ellen Janiko, with an early fall on her second climb earlier yesterday, has not managed to peep into that top 7 athletes. So she's got some work to do today if she wants to see herself through into the finals. In the men's though, Ramane on a comeback mission. We also have Sachi, Jakob, all up there in the top tied first place positions. We get ready now with a look at the start lists. Here we are then with today's start list. It's the women's lead semi-final now. Starting off with 4 athletes from China here. 2 athletes from Japan. 2 from Austria there. And at the bottom, Katharina Sauwein, not so successful yesterday. A bit of a tricky time of things. As I mentioned earlier as well, Ellen Janiko, also with that tricky second climb yesterday. And now we start moving into the tops. These are the athletes that have double tops from yesterday. As normal, Kim Dain in there, Mina Markovic is in there as well. Magdalena Roek, Dinara Fakhritinova, Momoka Oda. Kia Noguchi doing very well yesterday as well. Nikki Van Bergen in the mix-up as well. Risa Ota, a very young athlete from Japan, starting to become a frequent contender at these IFSC World Cups. Made it through into the finals just recently, coming 8th place at Mokpo, and there is Mina Markovic on our last page here. So quite a small turnout here in Wuyang, not our full amount of athletes. So all of the athletes from yesterday have made it through into the semi-finals. It was all about sorting out what order in which they'd climb and sorting out our countback should it be an issue later on in the competition. Here you can see as well then Gaurav Kumar of India, bit of a tough time yesterday. Another 4 athletes from China here. Marco Yubzangarita for Spain, Mario Lechner and Urban Primozic with a couple of tricky climbs yesterday for him. He didn't seem to have too good a time of things. 3 athletes from Japan here, Shinta Ozawa in there, Naoto Hakamada and Naoki Shimatani. Stefano Gazolfi, Akito Matsushima with 2 tops in the mix-up with these other athletes that we're used to seeing at the top of the pile. Gautier Soper, Domen Shkofitz, Shomokul, Manu Ramon. And we're going to see our final listing here. 4 athletes with double tops. Ramon de Grange, Ramon Julien Publanc, Jakob Schubert, Sachi Ama. As I mentioned in the intro, multiple tops for both the men's and the women's climbers here. We're going to see how they get on as they move through the semi-finals, trying to earn one of 8 places for the men, 8 places for the women in tonight's final. Every athlete here will have 1 climb today, so a relatively short semi-finals for you. Here is our very first athlete out now, Gaurav Kumar of India, starting off on these routes. In a few moments' time, I'll be joined by Vincent, our chief route setter here. He'll come over and have a chat to us about what we're going to be expecting to see as these athletes attempt these semi-final routes. The promise from him from yesterday, yet again, as always, to really step things up for the semi-finals and put some exciting things in for the finals also. If you do want to get in touch with us here at the venue, you can do so using the hashtag in the bottom right-hand corner. We've managed to acquire Twitter in China. It's an unknown thing for us from previous events. Here's our first female athlete out now as well, Zhang Rong of China, Gaurav Kumar of India, starting off on their semi-final routes. What a very good morning to you, or evening, wherever you are joining us from around the world. Current time here at the venue is around 10 o'clock in the morning. We're getting ready for a full day of coverage with the IFSC. So 2 early falls here to start us off in the semi-finals. We're definitely seeing an increase in difficulty as we move through today. Getting ready for our next set of athletes already here. While we are about to join our new athletes and we're having a little look at the wall, we say good morning yet again to Vincent. How are you, ça va?
I'm fine, yes. Good morning, then.
So you were here pretty late last night?
Last night it was okay. We worked not so late. Finished at 11:30, so it was okay.
I suppose you're quite used to it now, these comps where you have to get in as soon as possible, get things sorted for the semi-finals. You got to do it again today for the finals as well. It's a pretty hard job, yeah?
Pretty hard, no. It's just my job.
Okay, talk to us a little bit. We're just starting off with our next male athlete now. From China, we're welcoming Ma Zidar onto the field. So let's have a little chat about this one. You're saying that we're stepping up the bar again here in the semis, try and break down some of these athletes. What are we looking at here?
On this route for men, we try to set something at semi-final maybe very hard. I hope it will be very hard because I want maybe just 1 top, 2 tops, or maybe 0. If it's like that, it will be good for me. But this style of route is maybe very intensive, with some parts very bouldering. For example, in the middle part of the route, we have some moves with the edge of the wall. They need to use the edge and to put some heel hook, and it's a little bit like bouldering moves, like maybe small Crux. But normally it will be not very hard for the stronger guys. It will be more difficult on the last part for them, for sure. But we will see just with the stronger guys.
So the last part then, after you've got into this bouldering section, what are we starting off with here? Is this a technical beginning, or is it a relatively straightforward start until they hit this boulder middle?
Yes, for example, here is Zidama, he's on technical part, and after he's going to grab the edge in 2-3 moves, and after it will be more bouldering, more intensive, more powerful.
So we're starting with a bit of a kind of like a technical beginning then as we move into this middle section.
Yes, correct, yes.
And then the final section you're saying is obviously harder once they're past the boulder section, over the lip towards the top of the wall. What makes it hard at the top? What is it that's the difficult point towards then? Is it that they're just going to be tired by then?
Yeah, for sure. They will be very tired, so it will be very hard to take a rest. So it will be maybe impossible to take a rest for sure, and they need to use a lot of maybe to use technical moves, and they need to take a risk just for the last move. It will be hard to just maybe to be static. So they need to take a risk just for the last move, for example, and 2 moves before it will be the same.
So we're looking at maybe a more dynamic finishing last move here, where they've got to take a bit of a risk to go for it, as opposed to trying to do it in a static way.
Yes, yes. It's not like a dino for sure, the last move, but it will be just dynamic move, but very strange because you can see the last hold is a little bit, maybe not little bit, but very on shoulder. So it's very strange move.
So a nice weird final kick to the athletes here at the very top to try and boot them off at the last moment. Is there any male athletes that surprised you yesterday? Some of the athletes that you maybe are quite new to the circuit that have stood out for you, or any athletes that you weren't expecting to be able to top so well and that have surprised you?
That was a little bit surprised, maybe a little bit, because sometimes I prefer to set some easy qualification, and here it was not the same. It was a little bit harder than the other setting.
Okay, so let's go over to the women's then. We're about to welcome our next female athlete. This is Hugh Haibin, now just starting off on this technical sort of style beginning here. Well, just briefly, the grading that you'd give this men's roof, a rough one.
For this men's route is a good 8B+.
So an 8B plus we're looking at for the men's then. Total all in all of 45 moves. That last move, a very difficult final push for the top. After a bouldery midsection, a resistance-based top, more technical style as well as they get to the end, and then moving into this dynamic final push. We're about to welcome our next female athlete out into the field. Let's have a little bit of chat about the women's then. What are we looking at here for the women?
For the women, it's not exactly the same for men, for sure. We have not easy start for the women, but a little bit easier than the men for sure. And the roof will be very, very interesting for the women, because for sure the roof is very powerful for women, but it will be very hard and strangely, maybe strange, because it's like technical roof. They don't have a lot of jogs and a lot of crimps, and it will be very hard for women to climb in this roof because they need to use feet very, very, very nice and perfect to be perfect.
Did you say that there will be a lot of jugs and crimps, or that there's not any jugs and crimps in there?
Not so good crimps, yes, but not so jug.
So this roof section you're saying is power based, but it's also technical based. They've got no jugs and some good crimps to work with there, but it's going to be tough on them because it's relying on their power as well as their technical ability.
Yes, exactly, yes. And we use small holes in the roof for women, but it was easy for us to use these small holes, small crimps, because we put some volumes in this roof. So with that, if we use the volumes, it's easy for us to use a small crimp.
What about the latter section of the wall then, once they make it past the roof?
The next section for women, so I think concerning just the stronger women for sure, it will be very interesting because it's like just one problem like in bouldering. We will see there is normally like a knee bar, but not knee bar comfortable with the yellow volumes, and just the last part is very, very technical because they need to use a purple holds in the shoulder and match on this one. And it will be very, very hard for the women because they need to use a very heel hook very high, and after a match on these purple holds, it will be normally very hard for women.
And a rough grading for this one for the women's then?
Between 8B plus.
So we're looking at an 8B to an 8B plus for the women's. We're looking at a good 8B plus for the men's. For the women's, they're a bit of a different one to this. It's not an easy start, but it's easier than in the men's for the beginning for them. Then they're getting into this powerful roof, which is going to be interesting for the female athletes because it's reliant on crimps, not any jugs for them to help out, but it's also using quite a lot of power as they go through a technical procedure in the middle. Onto the final few moves, you've got an uncomfortable knee bar at the top that they can potentially take advantage of. into a very technical finish. They've got a match on on a purple hold towards the top, get a high heel hook as they're pushing up for the final one. And the final move, what's the final? Is that the final move with the heel hook match?
Final move for women, they need to stand up at this heel hook. So after they have just a little crimp for the left hand and just jump, just jump on the last hold. This is a big jug.
So another potential risk for the final move, but there's a nice big jug for their finish hold.
Yeah, it's a little risk for sure, but normally it's not so hard for the stronger woman.
So a good finishing one for them. Vincent, thank you very much. I'm going to let you get back out the front now, and we'll have a chat as we move towards the finals. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Merci, Vincent. So, always nice to chat to Vincent, have a little bit of a talk about what we're expecting here. For the women's, then, the total amount of holds we have on the wall are 52. 52 all in all on this 8B to an 8B plus level of difficulty route. For the men's, we have 45 on this good 8B plus. We're welcoming our next female athlete now, Renqing Lamu. We have Wang Qingha on the wall as well. 2 athletes for China now, trying to fight their way into the finals. They saw Wang Qingha starting to move over to that arrest. This is what Vincent was talking about. Going to have to start to use the edge there, as he was saying, usually a bouldery sort of style, getting onto the arrest. He was just reaching up for that there as he was moving through that roof section. Renqing Lamu still fighting here, going to be moving into that roof very shortly. Starting to take smaller holds now through the next 10 or 11 moves. Taking a moment here to have a bit of a shakeout, a bit of a rest, get that foot in the better position before moving up yet again. See these holds starting to get smaller here now, starting to be more crimpy. Solang, Jasho, next out for the men's. Height yesterday of a 33 plus and a 24. Here's Renqing Lamu now, relying on these crimps. And there you can see the increased roof she's about to get into now. It's going to start moving over to the left-hand side. Solang starting to push left as well. A few moves. And he'll start using the arrest a little bit on the left-hand side. As Vincent said earlier, maybe a little mini Crux here. the 22nd hold he's just taken there, for a total of 45. Here he is now starting to move on to the erect. It's the more bouldery style, as a volume tucked right up to the side there. That's the 30th hold that Renqing Lamu has just taken, total of 52 all in all. Crowd really getting behind these two athletes now. There's the flexibility of some of these female athletes. You can see here now as well. Solang looking a little bit shaky there, and up for the next one, and that's what's cost him. .34th hold here for Renqing Lamu. 35th, just ahead of her. Pinch a little bit higher up on that volume. Couldn't quite get there. Went out for the 36th before sliding the hand up a little bit higher to take the 35th there. Unfortunately now back down on the ground. You can see there where she was on the wall. Right into the upper third. And there on the right hand side, on the left lane, where we changed our speed world record last night in the women's down to 7.85 seconds. Female athletes now breaking the 7-second barrier. The Vudrakabi now for Iran. His teammate Reza Alaposhina Zandafar taking the silver medal yesterday in the speed. Davoud with a 29 plus and a 37 in yesterday's qualification round. Very unfortunate start there for Davoud Rakabi. That will see him out of the finals here. A lot of competition when you get into the upper 15 athletes in the men's. Welcome to Wuyang, here in the delta of the Yangtze River. Mo Yoshimura next up for the female athletes. An easier start here than the men's for these female athletes, but still not too straightforward. We're looking at an 8B to an 8B plus for the women's, total of 52 moves. High point around about the 35th hold now at the moment for the female athletes. We welcome our next male athlete, Marco Yubzangarita, and I know some of you were joining us to cheer him on as well. You can see Top 30 getting involved in the Twitter. Anybody joining us from Merry Old Oz or from the States, give us a shout, let us know where you are. Here at the semi-final stage, Lead World Cup 2013. Marco Yubzangarita for Spain now just starting off. Mo Yoshimura on the right. Marco, 30 years old. From Barcelona, world ranked 25th, World Cup ranked 26th so far this year, 18th at Mokpo, 16th at the men's bouldering at the European Championships in Eindhoven, Best results so far to date, an 11th place at the IFSC Climbing World Cup in Sheffield 2010 in Great Britain. Big crowd here at the bottom of the venue, cheering on these athletes as they fight for a spot in the top 8. Marco starting to push for that increased incline now, starting to use the arete a little bit more. You can see there are some chalk marks there on the walls. The route setters put them in just to give these guys a little bit of a heads up as to where they're going to be reaching up to over the next few moves. You can see that white mark there just on the green volume just ahead of him. Got a heel hook on the side now. Quite a high heel hook as well. And there you can see, unfortunately, despite the help from the route setters, just missing there as he went up with the left hand, and he's down on the ground again now. Mo Yoshimura still pushing here through this crimpy section. There you can see the roof just looming ahead of her now, 3 or 4 moves away. Currently on the 26th, that's the 27th she's just reaching up for now. She will potentially match on this one. Before moving across. Gonna get this clip in before she carries on here. There she is matching out with the left leg, taking it back again as she goes over with the left. 16 years old, Mo Yoshimura. 17th at the Female Youth A Lead World Youth Championships in Canada this year. 10th in the Female Youth B Lead category in the World Youth Championships in Singapore last year. We're now moving into that final 15 in the men's. Mario Lechner here for Austria, a 33 plus and a 37 plus yesterday. 22 years old, world ranked 12th, World Cup ranked 13th so far this year. 4th place at INZA in 2012. Quite a few decent results in 2012, made plenty of finals. Made the finals in Zinning and came 7th. Made the finals in Atlanta, came 6th. And also a 7th place in Purs. Unfortunately, Mo Yoshimura just coming down there just before the roof. Mario Lechner now pushing up and starting to approach this arete section on the men's. Yuka Kobayashi next out here on the women's wall. Mario Lechner fighting still. Further than Marco Yubzangarita a few moments ago. Into a crimpy section, just went for a pop there, wasn't quite secure, and unfortunately Mario Lechner coming back down onto the ground now. We're definitely seeing an increase here since yesterday in the standard of the routes here, the quality of these routes, providing a challenge for these athletes. Having to fight for a place in the finals now. I'm sure the finals will be stepping that up yet again. It's a crying shame we can't use that blue section on the wall. It's a nice, interesting style on the side of that there, and it actually moves into a slab right at the top of the wall. We unfortunately can't use it, as the route setters have deemed it is a little bit unsafe. The rest of the wall, we assure you, is perfectly safe. But it is a shame not to be able to use all of the wall's features. Kobayashi now about to hit this crimp section as we welcome our next male athlete, Urban Primozic of Slovenia. Yesterday, a 32 plus and a 40. I'll wait to see how he's going to get on with this new route. Yuka Kobayashi testing those crimps before she relies on them. Slow and steady is definitely the key around this midsection here, getting that left leg up. Matching. It's the 28th, it's 27th and 28th. You match with this hold, the larger hold, that's 28. 29 now by going across with the left hand again. She's going to start pushing into the roof, but it keeps moving over to the left-hand side throughout the next 5 to 6 moves before then going over to the right again. Relatively long route for the women here, 52 holds all in all on this 8B to 8B plus level difficulty route. Urban moving up again here now as well. Yuka up into this new section here. That's the 33rd hold she's just taken with the left hand. Unfortunately, they're going for the 35th hold. Yuka Kobayashi coming down, but that is a new high point for us on the women's wall, set by Yuka Kobayashi. Here is Urban with that high heel hook here on the left-hand side, about to reach up for this next hold that cost Marco his climb. Not so for Mario. Mario managed to get past it. See how Urban gets on. There we are, managing to find that one there. Looks fairly obvious to us, but remember that that volume is sticking out from the wall, from the angle that they are on the wall. Quite hard to spot, quite a small hold on the top side of that volume. So it's quite nice of the route setters to allow them a little bit of a mark up here. Let's be honest, they haven't been very nice at the rest of the wall. Using it now as a foothold as he leans over, gets this clip in here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, women athletes, let's welcome number 04, Sophie Katerina from Austria. Welcome you. Come on!
Unfortunately, a fall there. Katharina Sarvine here. Traditionally a boulder athlete. Shout out to Brad N. Phelps, who's checking in from Montana, USA, saying excited to see some climbing. What is the men's rating? The grading for the men's then on this one, we're looking at a good 8B+. An 8B+ here. Which is around a 5.14A, I think, in the grading that you guys use. For the women's, we're looking at an 8B to an 8B+. Shinta Ozawa next out for the men's. Male athletes are struggling a little bit here. We're into the final 13 now, though. Not quite into our double tops yet. 3 or 4 still to come after Shinta Ozawa. Another 2 Japanese athletes, Naoki Shimatani and Naoto Hakamada, still to come. Then Stefano Gazzolfi, and after that, the final 9, we are into these double tops. Shout out to the circuit as well, getting in touch with us. Circuit climbing. Shinta Ozawa here then. With 1 top from his first qualification climb and a 36 height yesterday. Shinta Ozawa, the 28-year-old athlete from Saitama, world ranked 60th. Competed in the speed here yesterday as well, came 25th there. Also competed in the bouldering World Cup in Munich this year. Germany, came 27th there. Last gold medal back in 2002. The Male Youth A-Lead Asia Youth Championships in Malaysia. Nice to have the circuit with us again. Saying great to be watching the World Cup semis on a hot sunny day here in Sydney. You'll never guess, circuit, but it's actually sunny here. We're mind blown. We've been out here for 2 weeks roughly. Over in Wuyang before this and in Mokpo before that. We did have a little bit of sun in Mokpo, but it's been pretty wet and windy. I am British, I do have an excuse to complain about the weather. Shinta Ozawa now using a toe here, which we saw Mario Lechner do earlier on. Switching to a heel though. Big move, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders here. Feet completely off the wall as he strikes out with the right hand there. Moving over onto the next hold though now. And over again. And that was him reaching up, I believe, for the 28th hold there that's just brought him down. It's around this point that we're seeing our athletes coming down. Barbara Backer then for Austria starts her climb now as well. This 8B to 8B plus graded route for the women. 52 holds all in all. Barbara Backer, 31 years old, world ranked 14th. The predominantly lead athlete from the Backer sisters. Sabine, her sister, usually competing in the bouldering. Barbara usually competing in the lead. Now, I'm pretty sure it was Sabine who had the injury in Innsbruck this year. We were there, but the problem is the Backer sisters look so similar. I always get the two of them mixed up, especially when they're both competing at an event, because I know that Barbara usually does lead and that Sabine usually does bouldering, but they were both at Innsbruck. And we unfortunately had the injury there, if you remember. Twisted ankle. Knocked one of them out of the competition when they were doing very well as well in Innsbruck. And on home turf, very disappointing. I remember seeing them in the isolation just behind the wall with a team of physios around them. And in a way, although it was very sad, it was very good to see as well. It was very impressive how much Sabine wanted to carry on climbing at Innsbruck. She kept insisting that she could stand on the leg. I can remember her trying and then just crumbling to the ground, and they said, no, that's it, we're calling it, you're not going back on. It shows you some of the levels of commitment that these athletes put into their training and these World Cups. Naoto Hakamada here for Japan. As Barbara moves into the crimp section now. A little bit uneasy there, relying on that left leg. Switching over to the right. 1 foot at a time at the moment. Moment to shake out here. Naoto Hakamada, 21 years old, world ranked 54th. World Cup ranked 46th so far this year. Came 34th at Purs. 21st at Imst this year though. That's one of his best. 5th at the male youth B lead World Youth Championships in Abara in 2007. Up with the right hand here now. Managing to hold it here as well with that little pop, feet coming off the wall. Spanning into that next hold ahead of her. A little bit of a bridge going on here. Now relying on it, getting the feet up a little bit more. And then you can see that white chalk mark as well, which is allowing her to see where that next hold is on the wall. 33rd hold now with the left hand, a total of 52. It's looking nice at the moment for Hakamada on the left hand side. Currently got the 29th hold there. That's the 30th he's just taken with the right. Barbara managing to get that pinch on the left. She's got it so far at the moment, moving over to the 36th hold with the right hand. 37th now with the left. Now this is where she starts moving right again. And unfortunately a fall there for Naoto Hakamada, but a fantastic performance there. Up to the 32nd and 33rd hold. Baka looking good here as well. 41st hold there she has with the right hand. Total of 52. Trying to get up to that 42nd hold. Couldn't quite reach there, unfortunately coming back down. But again, a new high point for our female athletes here. A new point to beat. We get ready to welcome our next female athlete flying through the semi-finals here. We're into our final 10 in the male athletes. It's going to be Stefano Gazolfi of Italy next. 1 top and a 39 plus in the qualifying rounds yesterday. After him, we're into our 9 tied first place positions. Oh no, it's looking like we've got Naoki Shimatani still yet to come as well. They are tied. Naoto Hakamada, who just climbed on the men's route for Japan, was in tied 11th place after the qualifying rounds. 1 top, 137 plus. And so we still have one more Japanese athlete before Stefano Gazolfi. In the women's, we're on to Hélène Janicot of France. We're about to welcome her out into the field. 1 top yesterday, 137 plus. It's looking like we're having a clean here at the moment on the men's route, so we're going to have a pause for a moment, meaning we can focus completely on Hélène Janico as she has her climb. For France now then, I mentioned her in the intro saying that she needs to do a little bit of work here if she wants to see herself through to the final. We would expect to see Hélène in the final. She's world ranked 4th, World Cup ranked 4th as well. 4th place at Mokpo just recently, 5th at Perm, 7th at Purs, 4th at Imst, 3rd at Briançon, 3rd at Chamonix, the European Championships, 2 bronze medals this year so far. Frequently making the finals. Let's see what she can do here with our 8B to 8B plus graded route. Just to keep you updated on what's happening for the rest of the day then, after we finish up here, we'll be taking a short break, back with you at 3:30 for the presentation of the finalists, their observation time as well. We'll be chatting to Vincent yet again about our final routes, and then we'll move on with our finals, which is due to start at 4 o'clock here, local time to us. Nice and early for our finals today. Is Hélène pushing into the crimps then? (27th, 28th hold here for Hélène. Switching feet here. High foot up there as she's starting to push into this roof section. Getting the feet across now. Is she going to bridge? Yes, she is. No, she's switching straight over onto that next hold. Certain amount of confidence there. Not feeling so good here on that one, but managing to get that left hand up. The right now as well, a toe hook with the left hand, left leg. Up to the corner of this next volume, she starts to move right now, following in the handprints of Barbara Bacher here. Heel hook on this next volume as well, over onto the next set of volumes in a moment. That's the 37th hold she's just taken there, 52 all in all. This next move cost Bacher, and it's costing Hélène Janico as well. A match there for the two of them. It'll put Hélène ahead of Bacher, but still quite a few female athletes yet to come. 10 all in all, still yet to come. This is a very risky position for Ellen Janico to be in terms of making it through into our final 8. An unfortunate end here for her. Still cleaning the male route, as you can see here. So we're going to be getting ready to go on to our next female athlete in a few moments' time. It should be Nikki van Bergen of the Netherlands with a top and a 39 plus yesterday. She's in tied 8th place with Risa Ota and Jana Celisneva. And in fact, because they're tied, I think it might actually be Jana Celisneva who's coming out next. 3 tied 8th place positions: Jana Celisneva, Risa Ota, Nikki van Bergen, all with 1 top and a 39 plus in the qualifiers. And it is Jana that's coming out next. Still waiting for the male route to be finished with its clean. Now with Jana Celisneva, world ranked 22nd, World Cup ranked 16th. Big difference there between Ellen Janico and Jana Celisneva. Ellen clearly just having a bad time of things here in Wuyang. Jana came 8th in Perm this year, 12th at Imst. In the lead there, 11th at the European Championships in Chamonix, and 11th in the women's bouldering on the IFSC World Cup in Chongqing at the very start of this year. Last medal for her was in Cran in 2011, where she took the bronze in the lead.
男子的难度线路半决赛的线路清理完毕，谢谢我们的洲际地勤员谢伟成。
Jana again with the strapping here on her arms. So from yesterday, a bit of support. The underside of the forearms here. Sixth hold. World ranked 22nd female athlete Jana Celisneva. A little bit shaky here at this point. She's managed to match with that left leg. It's flailing around a little bit here. She's managed to get onto the next hold. She's got to switch her body though. She's going over. Here we go. Switching those feet over now. A little bit risky there. Had to rely on the match on the hands that she had. Up for the next clip. Shout out to John Nix, saying up late watching some amazing climbing. Go Sean McCall, where we have him still up to come for you, John. plenty more male athletes. As we get into our top 9, it's going to start to get really exciting. In fact, top 10, Stefano Ghisolfi is definitely within a chance here of getting through to the finals. 1 top and a 39 plus yesterday. It's a bit of a shame for him on the count back, but he's more than capable of fighting through to the finals. Just to give you guys a heads up of who's still coming as well, we have Gauthier Soper of France, Domen Schkofitz, made every single final so far this year. We would expect it to happen again. Jakob Schubert, Emmanuel Roman, Sean McCall, Akito Matsushima, and then we have Ramon Degrange and Sachi Ama still yet to come for the men's. For the women's, Dinara Fakudanova, Kim Jae-in, Mina Markovic, Akio Noguchi, Momoka Oda, Katarina Posch, and Magdalena Roek, all with tied first place positions. We unfortunately lose Jana Sherish-Neva there. After a good effort, here is Naoki Shimatani. Then we're on to our next male athlete. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying wherever you're joining us from. Time here just coming up to 11 o'clock in the morning. As I mentioned, we're going to take that brief break. Back with you at 3:30 for the introduction of the finalists, as our athletes now try and fight for those 8 places. If you missed the speed final last night, you missed a really good one. Get that uploaded for you as soon as possible so you can watch that. So it's this more bouldery midsection here now for Naoki.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome next women athletes. Number 046, Ota Risa from Japan. Gamba Gamba.
33rd hold here for Naoki. And unfortunately we just lose him. I was getting excited then. I thought we were going to start seeing some of the further section of the wall through 34 up to 42. Definite interesting procedure there. We're looking at a good sequence. I'm looking forward to seeing some of our male athletes getting up there a little bit later on. For now though, back over to the female wall and we welcome Risa Ota. Another one of our tied 8th place positions. We have Jana Sherish-Neva, Risa Ota and Nikki Van Bergen in that tied 8 with 1 top and a 39 plus from yesterday. Risa Ota here, very young athlete from Japan, 20 years old, world ranked 19th, but she's up to 17th on the World Cup rankings. Made the 8th place position at Mokpo, also competed in the speed at both Haiyang and here in Wuyang, came 19th at both. Fortunately missing out on a place in the final 16. Best results for Risa Ota, a 5th place at the Female Juniors Lead World Youth Championships in Singapore, down on the beach in the Sentosa Resort last year. 13th at Briançon in the lead this year, and then that 8th place at Mokpo. Her first major finals on the IFSC senior circuit. She's been climbing really well as well. We'd hope to see her putting in a good performance here. And just as I said a few moments ago, Stefano Ghisolfi now also with the chance of fighting his way into the final 8. There is a lot of competition in the final 10 of these athletes. But we'd hope Stefano can surprise us yet again here as this 20-year-old Italian athlete starts to push. He's world ranked 9th, World Cup ranked 10th, came 6th at the lead in Briançon this year. The last medal was at Zinning in 2012 where he took the bronze there. He also took a bronze in 2012 at the European Youth Championships in Gemozak. Stefano now moving into this bouldery section. Now he's done some bouldering as well. He was in the male juniors bouldering at Meran in 2011. Took a bronze medal there. He is predominantly a lead athlete though. Risa Ota into this crimp section. So Gazolfi unfortunately falling around the 33 to 34 mark. And Yuka Kobayashi, unfortunately, as well, despite getting right up to where we've seen some of our other female athletes. No top for her either. We now move on to our next pair of athletes, and with the men's, we're starting to get into the really exciting section. Now, these are the tied 9 athletes with 2 tops from the qualifications earlier. We're starting things off with Akito Matsushima of Japan. Matsushima, a definite contender, one I tend to overlook. 31 years old, world ranked 17th, World Cup ranked 19th. But looking at previous results, if we go back to 2010, 2011, he's right on the cups of finals, nearly 3 or 4 times here. At Huaji in China, Xining in China, 2010 and 11, he came 7th in the finals there. In the men's bouldering Asia Championships in Chuncheon in Korea, 2009, he took 5th place position. No podium positions so far yet, but looking at this year so far, 12th place at Pers, 12th place at Mokpo. Just 4 slots away from a final there, so a good performance here from him. A couple of tricky times for some of the other athletes, but could be seeing Akito out in the finals here. Definitely not one to rule out entirely. Nikki van Bergen then from the Netherlands. Our last of our tied 8th positions. 1 top the first climb yesterday and a 39 plus for her. For the Netherlands, 21 years old from Amsterdam, world ranked 17th, World Cup ranked 10th. Came 9th at Mokpo, just missed out on the final there. Also came 9th at Briançon, just missed out on the final there. 10th at the European Championships in Chamonix, just 2 places away from a final. And in Perm, 13th. Another athlete just like Akito Matsushima, who is sitting right on the edge of those final 8. The last time she made a final was in the female juniors category. European Youth Cup in Cran 2011, she came 5th there. Last medal for her female juniors lead, European Youth Cup in Veliko Tarnovo in 2011. That was a bronze medal, and her only medal of her 12 best results. Has never made an IFSC senior final. But this year has been so close with those 2 9th place positions. Now let's hope she can try and get through this time. Nikki just missing out to Risa Ota in Mokpo recently. Risa, who made it through into the 8th place position from the semis. She's tied with Risa here. Okay, Nikki into this roof section then. See how she's going to get on here. They're going to go feet straight up here. Yep. Turning around. Going to reach through onto this second, this undercling section that she's got there. There it is. And here is Gauthier Super. We have seen him in plenty of finals so far. He is tied in the first place slot with 9 other male athletes still yet to come for France. Gauthier Super pushing here. Strange not to see Thomas Ballet here. And also strange not to see Min Hyun-bin. We were expecting to see Min here after the silver medal in Mokpo. And after the way he's been performing very recently. It's a definite shame not to have Min Hyun-bin here. As he would have been one of the athletes that was in tied first place, I'd reckon. I'd warrant. Nikki now then. That's the 33rd that she has there with the left, but she has been going up for the 34th, which is there. 35th is at the top corner of this volume on the arete side, the pinch. That's it there. She's going for it. Now, some of the athletes have been bypassing that and trying to go straight for the 36th, which you can see is the grey one in between this volume and the next volume ahead of her, just to the right-hand side. We've seen athletes with one hand, like she has the right there, and then just trying to go straight for the next one. With that pinch, she's going to be able to have a bit of a secure position, a bit of a better position as she goes out for the 36th. With the right in a few moments' time before crossing over for the 37th, which you can see is the grey volume at the bottom left-hand corner of the lime greeny sort of volume just ahead of her, the bar volume. Taking a moment to rest and shake out though here while she can. There we go. Now she's got the heel hook in here, bit of an extra support as she goes over. Nice movement here through this sequence, straight up to the 40th hold. 41 there with the match. 42 has cost a couple of athletes so far, Ellen Janico amongst them. Can Nikki Van Bergen take this next hold and get onto the smiley face? That smiley face there, just to be happy if you can get over to it. Big reach, big shoulder move there for her, and just, she took it. There's 42 for her, but trying to go up for the 43rd, unfortunately brought her down. Very good performance there from Nikki Van Bergen though. Fantastic effort here at the semi-final stage. Gauthier Super fighting here as well, and unfortunately down again. Plenty of athletes coming down at this point. The 33rd hold on the men's. Big move over to the 34th here. Unfortunately, we lose Gauthier Super. Getting ready in a few moments, though, to welcome Katharina Posch. So Domen Skofic moving out now for the male athletes. This guy has made every single lead final on the IFSC so far this year. Still very, very young, but he's already starting to become a big contender for the podiums here at 19 years old. Born in Ljubljana, world ranked 10th, World Cup ranked 8th at the moment. Came third at the World Youth Championships in Central Saanich this year in Canada. Second at the Men's Junior Lead European Youth Championships in Imst. Came fourth at Briançon this year on the senior circuit. And an entire run of gold medals on the male juniors boulder and lead circuits throughout 2012. One in Grindelwald. These are all gold medals, by the way. One in Grindelwald, one in Kran, one in Gemozak at the European Youth Championships, one at Imst, one at Linz, one at Voiron, Grindelwald, and also Edinburgh throughout 2012. Plenty of gold medals. Also took a silver medal at the World Youth Champs in Singapore 2012 as well. Lost out, I believe, to Sebastian Halenki there. Sebastian, unfortunately, having a bit of a tough time as well this year in Canada. It's been all about Dmitry Fakiryanov, who's just started to move on to the lead season for the seniors as well, and can be a contender, has been a contender so far for some of the older athletes. The main competition for athletes like Domen Skofic and Sebastian Halenki. Here's Katharina Posch then for Austria, starting her climb now. 2 tops in the qualifications. We're into our final 7 female athletes who had 2 tops yesterday in the qualifying rounds. Katharina Posch, another young athlete starting to move out into the senior circuits here. 19 years old from Imst, world ranked 7th already, World Cup ranked 7th, came 7th at Perm, took a silver medal at both the European and the World Youth Championships this year, came 7th at Briançon. So another young athlete who's making finals. Dominant with that heel hook here on the side. He's got to watch these heel hooks. They've been the bane of his existence over the last 3 or 4 World Cups. Cost him in Perm. It also cost him at the Masters competition in Wuyang recently. A misplaced heel hook a couple of times, bringing him down, but here he is pushing up again now. Currently taking the 29th with the left hand, walking over to the top of that volume to the left-hand side. 30th hold you can see just on the edge, sorry, 31st hold you can see just on the edge of that volume on the left-hand side, the darker green volume, and then that move across to the 32nd and 33rd is what's costing our athletes at the moment. That 32nd one, it looks like a lot of our athletes are going straight for the 33rd. You can see on the, there's 2 white dashes on the right-hand dark volume here. Domin unsure what to do here with his feet. He's gone for the 32nd, slips and falls early here for him. Big risk for Domin and a place in the finals here. The sequencing there on that crossover, there's got to be something the athletes are missing here. Is it possible that they could do a cross through underneath, maybe get the left hand over onto the 32nd? So right hand on the 31st, cross under with the left for the 32nd, and then take the right off to go for the 33rd. That could make an easier transition possibly over onto the right side. It's a little bit more awkward, but it might be more secure. We'll wait to see how some of our other male athletes get on with that crossover to the 33rd hold in a little while. At the moment, Katerina pushing into the upper section on the female wall. She's got the 39th hold now with the right hand. That's the 40th. She's going to match there now for 41, and then the big move to 42 that's costing our female athletes at the moment. Can Katerina do it for Austria now? That's the 32nd. Heel hook in there, wedging it in. Big move. Can't quite make it again. Up to the 43rd. Similar situation. So we found our Crux on the wall. A little bit late in the competition, but we know where both of them are now. Right, the moment some of you have been waiting for. It is born on a warmer call. And let's see, with this fast style of climbing, he's going to hit a boulder section around the middle. He'll get a little bit tired around there. Let's see whether his pace here is detrimental to this effort or whether it's going to help him as he gets over to that Crux around the 33rd move. So Sean already up here to the erect. We welcome Akio Noguchi onto the women's wall now. Starting to get interesting, guys. Hopefully you're all enjoying wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to Wuyang here in China, down in the south of China. The last stage of our IFSC Asia Tour 2013. We've been to Korea and then 2 comps in China. Here's Sean on a bit of a fiddly move here. You can see the power of this athlete now as he starts to move up into this section. Incredible amount of shoulder strength. Not afraid to take his feet off the wall and rely on his hands at all at any stage of the wall. So here he is approaching this tricky point. Let's see how Sean gets on with this one. Now this is what I was talking about. If you go up with the the right hand onto this 31st hold, possibly. Sean's going to go left here. But here he is taking the 32nd first, then getting his feet across. Is he going to match on 32 for this undercling? No, straight across to 33. Moving his feet across a little bit more as well here and getting onto the next section. So that's how it's done. Not crossing underneath here, but going over with the right hand, inching your way around the underclings to the 33rd. Sean now up to an upper section now. Oh, and unfortunately we lose him as he goes on to the 37th hold, that was now. But a good effort for Sean. We've seen how that crossover point's done. You can see Sean shaking his head, and that's good. We like to see Sean shaking his head. He usually gets down and says it's way too easy. Akio onto the crimps then. It's more bouldery middle section for the women's as well. No tops so far in the semi-finals. Manuel Roman for France. Taking a little look before he starts here. Akio shaking out a little bit before getting up into this roof section. Overall second place on the bouldering this year, so this sort of style of this section here should be something she's very used to as she gets into this roof. Looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Pausing for a second here with this undercling. Is she going to get this clip in before she moves across? Or is she going to go straight up for it? Straight onto the next move. 34th hold there. Now the clip. Up to the 35th at the pinch. Top part of this volume here before going over after getting a heel hook in. Akio definitely staging herself here. There's the heel after she takes it here before letting go, stretching as she goes over with the left hand. Still pushing into the next section here. Looking good, starting to approach this point that's cost so many of the female athletes a top here. Mano using the arete now, he's starting to move up to that section as well. The Crux on the men's wall. Big move here for Akio. Trying to get a knee bar in here. Was going for a bit of a rock up then as well. Unfortunately can't take the next move there, so we lose Akio on the 42nd hold here. Opening up some possibilities for some of the other female athletes to earn the place on the final 8. When are we going to see our first top? Who do we think is going to be the first one to give us a top on women's and men's? Let us know. The hashtag's in the bottom right hand corner. You can get in touch with us on Twitter. Here's Manuel Roman over with the right here, getting their feet across. Through to the second undercling with the left hand, over again with the right to match on that one before going up again with the right here. Bit of a tricky situation. Didn't quite land that next move. And we lose Manuel Roman. No tops in the semi-finals. Vincent has definitely upped the bar here for our athletes, both men's and women's. Having a tough time of things. Plenty more athletes still to come though. This route is definitely going to be the sort of style that Ramone will like. And should favour. We'll see him a little bit later on. Sachi could do well here as well. Magdalena Roach for Austria. Young and very serious climber. Dominating at the World Youth Championships over the last few years. Starting her climb. We're going to be moving over to the men's in a few moments' time as well to welcome Ramon de Grange out into the field. There he is. Ramon de Grange, 31 years old, a current European champion. Chamonix this year, his first gold medal as well. World ranked 6th, World Cup ranked 6th, came 5th at Mokpo recently, 5th at Perm, 4th at Purs, 8th at Imst, gold medal at the European Championships. Before that, last medals were bronze medals in 2012, one at Atlanta, one at Purs. Also one in Boulder at a lead World Cup, believe it or not, in the USA in 2011. Magdalena Roach, 19 years old, from Landeck. World ranked 5th, World Cup ranked 5th, 2nd at Perm 2013, 1st World Youth Championships this year. It's not the first time she's done it. She was 1st at the European Youth Championship this year and last year. She was 2nd at the World Youth Championships in Singapore after missing out to Momoka Oda, who we'll be seeing a little bit later on. She was also 1st at the World Youth Championships in Imst 2011, frequent winner of both World and European Youth Championships. Also, plenty of results on the senior circuit as well. Silver medal in Perm this year, bronze medal at Purs last year. Ramon de Grange, this crossover now. And can't quite hold it either. Exactly the same as his teammate. Trying to cross up to that next move. Maybe something in leaning back into and sitting into that move there a little bit more. Getting the feet over to the right-hand side before reaching up. That positioning hasn't boded well for either of the French athletes there. Both of them coming down around the 32nd. Sorry, 34th. 34th hold there. Magdalena with the heel hook, deciding to change it and deciding to put it back. with the left leg. Now this point hasn't been too tricky. It's the next 2 to 3 moves from here. There's that all-important crossing over onto the yellow volume hold there. You can see just ahead of her, the 42nd. Very easy to take that one up onto the 43rd. This is Magdalena Roach doing exactly what she normally does, just completely outperforming the competition, even at such a young age. Hugging onto that next move as well, foot up onto the next one. This is looking good so far. 44, that's 45th she's just taken there. And resting here on this next point now that she's just made that one. Into the last few moves that are going to be really tricky for her as well there. Vincent is not letting up even at this late stage. Up now again for her to the 47th of a total of 52. 48th there for the next one. She knows she's in a tricky position here. Going for a heel over the top. Is it going to help her? Very, very awkward positioning there as she's getting up onto the next one, but she's managing to hold it so far. That's the 49th. 50th is the match. 2 moves away, a tiny crimp. And that final move's a big jug. She's got a nice, good finish here if she can get to it. Oh, and just slips off on the last moment there. But Vincent said it shouldn't be too hard to get that last one, but it is still a risk. We were talking about it right at the beginning of today, saying it's still a risk, that last move, that little tiny dyno. It's a great finishing hold, but you can see there's quite a lot of drag on the rope there as well that's going to be fighting that push. And we move over to Ramone now. This is turning into quite a nice little semi-finals here. Well, that's more than enough to see Magdalena through into the finals. She was one of our 7 tied first place positions, and we're already well into those female athletes now. And she's hitting the new high point for us here. Magdalena Roach, 51 plus. That's the point to beat now on the female wall. Still got Kim Jae-in, Dinara Fakhretdinova, Mina Markovic yet to come. Have a go at it. Into our final 4 athletes. It's Ramone here now for the men's. Unbelievable. Exactly the same thing that happened over in Mokpo a little while ago. Completely unexpected. Ramone clearly just having a bad time of things at the moment. We did not expect something like that to happen. Trying to go out for the arete. Just looked like he couldn't quite reach enough there. Maybe the positioning wasn't right. I'm not entirely sure. He is one of the smaller athletes, but that's not been a tricky move, even for some of our smaller athletes in the men's. Shinta Ozawa managing it. No difficulty there. What a shame. Potential to be, well, I think we will be definitely losing Ramone here. He ended up in 10th place at the last World Cup, and we're going to be losing Ramone again here in Wuyang. As Dinara Fakhretdinova takes to the wall. How's everybody doing? Anybody expect that? I certainly didn't. Jakob Schubert here on the left-hand side, 22 years old, already with plenty of titles behind his belt. World champion at the moment. Came third place at the men's bouldering European Championships this year. Gold medal at Purs. In the lead on our IFSC World Cup season. A silver medal at Perm. Fourth place at Mokpo, just missing out on a medal. We had Sachi Ama taking the gold at Mokpo. We had Min Hyun Bin taking the silver. And then we had Sean McCall taking the bronze. Jakob just missing out there. Can he come back here? Fight for a position on the podium. Dinara Fakhdinova starting to move into the increased route through the crimp section now. Saw Dinara in the isolation a little bit earlier on. Whilst most of the other athletes were warming up, climbing on the boulder wall behind there, the warm-up wall, getting used to stuff, Dinara just sat down with a coffee and did her makeup. That's confidence for you. I'm sure she warmed up as well. It's interesting to see. Schubert with a gold this year as well in the bouldering at Kitzbühel. Silver medal at Chongqing at the start of the year in the bouldering, and a bronze medal at Toronto. Silver medal at Imst this year on the lead World Cup there. Another silver medal at Perm. Final few athletes here at the semi-finals fighting for that place in the top 8. Had some surprises already. Ramane going, definitely one of them. Dinara, 20 years old, world ranked 6th. And Jakob coming down around the same point. We have found a definite crux here on the wall. Jakob defeated by that move across. Well, due to count back, we're going to probably still see the majority of those tied first place positions, like Ramon de Grange, Manuel Roman, and some of our other athletes at the tied first place positions. They're all coming down around the same point, and it is one of the high points on the wall. Well, it was earlier as well, so we're probably going to see a lot of them going through, but also, again, they're going to be tied on count back as they move towards the final. Dinara up with the left. Can she make this next move? Oh, and it looked like she was going to hold it there, but just slipped. Oh, it's still better than some of our other athletes. It's just Magdalena Roak at the moment, off in a world of her own, right towards the top of the wall, one move away from it. We're about to welcome our last few athletes in a few moments. Here is Sachi Ama for Japan. We are a little bit ahead of things for the men's. Moving a little bit quicker. I said earlier that I thought Ramane and Sachi would be quite comfortable with a route like this. I was definitely wrong on Ramane, but let's see if I'm right on Sachi. He's 24 years old, Sachi, world ranked 2nd at the moment. Back up to 1st in the World Cup ranking so far. But he's been dancing all the way around the world ranking so far this year. We're about to welcome Momoka Oda out now for Japan. So 2 Japanese athletes climbing on these walls, both of whom we would expect to see going through into the finals. World rankings must be pretty close at the moment. Actually, yes, they are. Here we are. Jakob Schubert in 1st place position on the world rankings at the moment with a 453.13 points. Sachiyama, 448.40. That is not much at all in terms of difference there. It's basically whoever beats who. And the next stage of the competitions is going to start taking the 1st place positioning on the world rankings here. Ramon Julien Publanc down in 3rd place at the moment with 407, which still isn't much at all compared to where Jakob and Sachi are. But with Jakob and Sachi Well, definitely with Jakob starting to make it through into the finals here, and with Ramone with the early fall, much like we saw from Mokpo, Ramone is looking in danger, dropping down even further on the world rankings here. Sean McCall's looking good to start pushing up into a different higher slot, and Min Hyun-bin currently in 4th place with 366 points. Now, if he was here, and if he did well as well at this stage, he could be challenging the top 3 slots, but unfortunately we don't have Min Hyun-bin. Not entirely sure why. Provisional results at the moment are showing Sean McCall at the top of the men's lead. I've just shouted Kim Dae-in to ask where Min Hyun-bin is, and apparently he's at a national competition back home in Korea, and that's why we've lost him. Which is good news, I suppose, in a way, because at least it isn't an injury. So there we are, Min Hyun-bin at a national comp back home. Sachiyama here, fighting his way up this wall. He's made the section around the arete and is now pushing up to our tricky Crux here. Momoka Oda, calm, collected. Former World Youth Champion, just 19 years old. Let's see how Sachi gets on with this cross. Up with the left. 32nd and 33rd. He's gone over again to the 33rd with the right hand here. Crossing over the feet. What's he going to do here? He's keeping his feet to the left-hand side before coming across, and now he's using a bridge here. And unfortunately, just trying to get up. Another move there, just a little bit shaky, and he's coming down there around the 35th move. He's still higher than some of the other athletes that we're seeing that will be going through into the final, so it's a reasonably good position for Sachi to be in. Sean at the moment dominating this semi-finals. And that is it for the men's. We're with Momoka Oda in the women's. Still a couple more yet to come. Mina Markovic, Kim Dae-in still to climb after Momoka. Momoka starting to push into the roof now. Looking very, very good for Momoka here. Here she is pushing up again. Can she challenge Magdalena Roak at this stage? Another move up here. 45th hold. Different beater here, if you notice, to Magdalena. She had a wraparound on that yellow volume there. She got the entire forearm around the left-hand side of it as she was pushing up. A little bit more secure. Nice to see a different method being used. Momoka up again with the right hand. Well into the finals here. Heel hook. 50th hold here now with the left hand. Come on, Momoka. Get that foot in a better position. Can she take it? No, unfortunately. But I would say, oh sorry, 49th there on that one, because the 50th is the match and she didn't get the match there. So we're looking at around a 49 plus, I would imagine. She was going up with the right hand to try and take the match there. That hold is both 49 and 50 once you've matched on it. Still in second place so far on the rankings, next to Magdalena Roak. It's a pretty good position to be in and going into the finals a little bit later on. Getting ready to welcome Kim Jae-in now out onto the wall. Second on our rankings at the moment. Mina just behind her, waiting to go on as well. Currently in a zen-like state. Eyes glaze over, clearly in complete concentration, trying to get herself into the right mind frame before coming out and having an attack at this wall. But we're about to welcome Kim Jae-in. There she is.
Attention please, the provisional result for men. Semi-final is coming on. Attention please, the provisional result for men. The semi-final is coming on. Please check on that. Thank you. OK， 我们一起来欢迎，每次都很期待的能够登顶的，有着荣誉的登顶王称号的女子运动员。这位是世界排名第2位的，来自于。
At the moment, just to give you a heads up on how the men's is looking roughly for the results that we have, Ramone is all the way down in 17th place, way out of the final. Domen is down in 11th place, which means he's missing his first final of the IFSC Lead World Cup season so far this year. But Urban is in. Urban Primozic is all the way up, I think, in 3rd at the moment. We have two tied first place positions with Sean McCall and Jakob Schubert with a height of 36 plus in the men's. Urban is 34 plus at the moment. Sachi Ama in 30 with a 34 is in 4th place. The only thing that will stump Urban as he moves into the finals a little bit later on is countback, as he wasn't one of the ones that had the two tied firsts. He qualified for this semi-finals in 14th place with a 32 plus and a 40, so he can't rely on his countback to do him any favours here. No two tops for that one. At the moment, tied first place with Jakob Schubert and Sean McCall, 36 plus the high point on the men's. Waiting for those results just to be confirmed before we know who our final 8 are going to be. But what a surprise to see some shift around here in the men's. Our 8th place position is resting with Naoki Shimatani at the moment. Gautier Super is in. Ramon de Grange is in. Stefano Gazzolfi yet again down in 9th place, just missing out on a place in the finals. These are just the provisionals at the moment, and I'll bring them up, or Johnny will bring them up for you in a few moments, so you can have a look at where people are ranking on the results that we have so far. For now though, let's stick with Kim Jae-in as she makes her attempt at the finals here. .25 years old, Kim, from Gangbuk-gu, Seoul. She has Jaha with her at this competition, which means Jabi is no doubt running the gym back home in Seoul. Shout out to you, Jabi, if you're joining us now and if you've got us on in the gym. World ranking 2nd at the moment, Kim Jae-in. World Cup ranking 1st. Results so far for this year: Briançon, gold medal. Imst, bronze medal. Pers, gold medal. Perm, gold medal. Mokpo, silver medal. Incredible results from Kim Jae-in. If you're looking at her 12 best results, there's not one of them that's below a bronze medal. Every single one of them are a podium position. Who would expect that from an athlete that's so highly ranked on our ranking systems? And very much favoured by the climbing world. Kim Jae-in now moving past the crimp section. This slow, steady, controlled style we are used to seeing from this Korean athlete. Here's Kim, currently on the 34th hold here. Bit of a rest, stretch out. Getting the foot a little bit higher up before taking the 35th here. She's going to start moving over to the right-hand side now, getting towards that really tricky 42nd hold. Crossing over onto the yellow volumes at the top of the wall. Thirty-ninth hold. Heel hook with the left, allowing it to go up for the 40th in a few moments' time. Now that she's matching on that one, and this is the tricky move then, up to the 42nd and over and across onto the yellow volumes up towards the top here. Let's see how she gets on with this. Taking that foot back there with the right, allowing her to get a little bit of extra push as she goes towards that 42nd. We've seen a rocking attempt from Akio Noguchi. Here we see Kim Jae-in just switching her feet out a little bit, giving her a bit of an extra push. She's onto the yellow volumes now. Up, slapping onto the top yellow volume with the left hand here. Comfortable enough to take her hand off the wall and clip in here. 46th hold she's on so far, up to the 47, 52 all in all on this 8B. High heel here. This is what Vincent was talking about earlier on. Start to push over, really squeeze this one. Switching onto the ball of her foot here. Trying to get that other leg up a little bit more. This is what cost Momoka. A little bit shaky. First time I've seen Kim Jae-in shake on a wall here. Not a great position to be in. Maybe needs to sit down a little bit more into that volume. And unbelievable, we lose Kim Jae-in here. A couple of moves away from the top. An opportunity now for Mina Markovic to come out and take a top, and for the first time in a long time be ahead of Kim Jae-in in the countback. This is a definite opportunity for Mina now. Kim Jae-in down on the ground. That last move is tricky. And I think that I can safely say that's the first time I've seen Kim Jae-in struggling on a move and not just slipping when she comes down. When we see Kim Jae-in come off the wall, it's usually just a random slip or a top, and then she's quite comfortably coming down. But that was shaky there. She didn't look like she was having a good time of it at all. Positioning of the feet, not entirely happy with that one. Couple of surprises here. She's well into the finals now, but countback could be a problem for her. We wait to see. As we welcome Mina Markovic, our last female athlete, out to the front of the wall. Our final climb of the semi-finals. Are we going to see a top on the female wall? No tops for the men's. But this is a chance for Mina now to get a top for the women's. Now you can see Mina taking a look at that final move. She knows that that's going to be the important point. She'll know from the reaction from the crowd, and the reaction at the venue here, that Kim hasn't topped that last route. She's waiting just in ISO, just next to the wall. So she can't see the route, but she can definitely hear everything that's going on. She knows that top move is the tricky one. See her there just taking a moment to have a look. And here we go, Mina Markovic. Current world ranked number 1, World Cup ranked number 2. Urban just walked past the isolation section here, stopped, came behind the wall to where we're sitting at the moment, just threw his hands up as if to go, I don't even know what just happened, but he's in 3rd place at the moment, which is great news for him, making a final when Domen is out. Bit of a switch for the Slovenian team here. Pressure now on Mina Markovic to make her place in the finals. Okay, so a look at Mina Markovic's previous and most recent results then. 25 years old, she's from Maribor, world ranked 1st, as I said, World Cup ranked 2nd, but she's been 1st place on the World Cup rankings for the past several years. 2011, 2012, 1st place on the World Cup rankings at the end of the year. This year, a tricky time at Perm, she came 4th. She came 1st at Mokpo last World Cup. She also came 1st at the Masters competition in Wuyang, so she's clearly on a very good form at the moment. 2nd at Purs this year, 2nd at the Women's Bouldering European Championship in Eindhoven, 1st at IMSH this year, 2nd at Briançon, 2nd at the European Championships in Chamonix. She could do with another 1st place position to secure this this world ranking spot and try and challenge Kim Jae-in for the World Cup rankings as well. On the World Cup rankings at the moment, take a brief look at where the two of them are sitting. Kim Jae-in with 445 points, Mina Markovic with 415 points, so just 30 points dividing the two athletes. Again, much like with the men's, it's basically whoever beats the other one at the next few competitions is going to start to take the World Cup rankings. Can Kim Jae-in fight off Mina Markovic? Here is Mina now starting to move into the last few sections. 37th hold there. That's the 38th. Sorry, 39th. 40th and 41st are these next two you can see just on the corner there. Here she goes. And she knows this next move is a tricky one. Let's see what she does with her feet here. Is she going to take the approach from Kim Jae-in and send that right leg further out, or is she just going to squeeze and try and push up with a bit of shoulder work here? Going for a heel. She sent the foot further round to the left here to give her a bit of an advantage, but what's she doing now? Up onto the next one. This is 43. Definitely in the finals, but it's countback that's the important part for her. Foot onto the smiley face. She's on the 44th hold. That's the 45th she's just taken now. And 46 with the match. heel up into that corner. She's going to have to be very cautious here, and she knows she has to be as well. Here you can see the shoulder strength of Mina. Up again, that's 48. Heel. Flattening the foot off there to sit down onto the volume a little bit more. This move, there we are. This is her moving ahead of Kim Jae-in now, challenging Magdalena Roig. Next hand up. Now, can she make this final push for the dyno? You can see the rope there could be causing a bit of drag here. She's going to get her foot up higher a little bit. Yes, she is. She's got to go for the pop now. Good hold to finish on. And there it is, by the count back, Mina Markovic now in first place position ahead of Magdalena Roig. Third place at the moment, Kim Jae-in. Mina Markovic, first place going into the finals. On count back, she's currently onto a winner. Can she replicate this performance as she moves forward into the final? She's given us the top that we all craved, moving through the semi-finals here. Fantastic to see. And then officially, a perfect route from Vincent here. Perfect route, you see one top. And you see a nice spread on the top-ranked athletes, and that's exactly what Vincent's given us here in the women's route. In a few moments' time, we'll have a little look, in fact, pretty much straight away, at what our results are at the moment, so you guys can see who our final 8 are. Here are the men's. Sean McCall, Jakob Schubert, tied in 36+. Sachiyama now in third, I do apologise, with 34+. Urban Primozic in fourth due to countback, despite having the same result in the semi-finals here with 34+. Manuel Ramon de Grange tied fifth with 33 pluses. Gautier Supper in 7th, and in 8th place there, I believe it's Shimotani. Gonna bring it round again for you so you can have a little bit of a look. It is Shimotani, Naoki Shimotani with a 33. Gautier Supper beating Naoki Shimotani on the countback as they've tied in the semi-finals. Stefano Gazolfi out of the finals. And then this second page is where it gets quite interesting as well. You can see on the men's results here what happened to some of our potential finalists. It's going to be an interesting one here. 3 French athletes in the finals as well. Great to see that. Here then, here we are, 11th place, Domen Skofic missing out here. Ramon Julian Publanc, 17th place with a 20+. Unbelievable to see Ramon that low during the semi-finals. Real shame to not have one of the all-time greats in our final here in Wuyang. In a few moments we'll have a little look at the women's then, just to show you quickly the last page here for the semi-final results. David Rakabi at the bottom there, Gaurav Kumar in 21st. So let's have a little look at what we've got for the women's. Remember, it takes a couple of moments for the IFSC to confirm the results before we know exactly who is going through. Make sure there are no appeals. But at the moment, now this is a little bit behind schedule because Magdalena Roig is now dropping down into 2nd place, and Momoka Roda and Kim Jae-in are tied in 3rd position. Because we know, after seeing Mina Markovic a moment ago, she is on the top with a top. Magdalena Roig ahead of the competition though with a 51+ here, puts her in 2nd place. So we're just waiting for these to update now. It's looking like we could have an extra athlete in the final here. Just going to go back in a few moments to have a look at that first page again. We'll see what Mina's top is going to do to the lower athletes here. And bring that one up again for you, that first page. Remember, the results will be on the IFSC's website, ifsc-climbing.org. Yep, here we are, 2 tied 7th place positions here, which means that this will change when we get Mina into this situation. We'll have 2 tied 8th place positions, meaning that Risa Rota and Nikki Van Bergen should be making it through into the finals, making it a tied 8th place position, 9 athletes making it. Oh no, there she is. She is there. She is there. It is updated. Mina Markovic then. So we do have our 8 female athletes. It's tied 7th place position there with those 2. Ellen Janiko is out. Akio Noguchi is out as well. Surprise there for that one. Here we are, the final 8 then. Before I get myself confused anymore. Mina Markovic, Magdalena Roig, 1st and 2nd. Tied 3rd place, Momoka Roda, Kim Jae-in. tied 5th place, Katarina Posch, Dinara Fakridinova. Risa Ota again making it through into the finals. Definitely seeing an improvement here from her for Japan. And for the Netherlands, Nikki van Bergen making it through into the finals as well. Making our 8 athletes in tied 7th place there. Nikki van Bergen making it through. And here you can see some of the athletes that are going to be missing out. I do believe, and yes it is, the first lead senior final for Nikki van Bergen. 2 9th places this year, Briançon and Mokpo. She's waited for it, she's fought for it, but in tied 7th place now, she makes it into her first ever senior IFSC final. Nikki van Bergen for the Netherlands. We look forward to seeing her a little bit later on. Thanks for being with us, guys. That was the semi-finals. We are going to be back later on this afternoon at about 3:30 local time to us here to show you the observation and the presentation of the athletes for our finals. Finals due to start at 4 o'clock. We'll be back at 3:30 local time. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you soon.